So I did a video about role models in classical music. This one with Scriabin in the thumbnail. And this video is, this new video now that I do is somehow related to it. It's about general knowledge as a composer, but in the case that you are still a total beginner, like virgin classical musician. You can't play, you can't compose, you can read. So I got this student I think 2 years ago. He was very talented because I can see this, I can spot immediately. So he was a kind of genius type that wants to do everything. He wanted to compose like Bach and imitate Bach, but he could only play some things in jazz, I think, on keyboard, the first things on keyboard, like jazz. So what happened is that he had no enough understanding yet about classical music, to the point that he had absolutely no idea how one gets there and what is supposed to do. So he underrated the work and the study that you have to do in order to at least be able to imitate 2 lines of Bach, okay? So I see this very, very often, that we have a shortcut mentality that starts to be absolutely not realistic, absolutely a fantasy, okay? And I think this has to do with a lack of knowledge about the role models, the biographies, how they learned, what they had to do. There is also another group of people, then these are more the intermediary people, who still think that they only need to maybe learn the piano and perhaps a little bit improvisation here, the ear training. They fail to understand that that classical musical education is really a very integral synchronization of different disciplines of music that will help each other. I call this a synergy. They help each other. So it's hard to tell you where everything begins. Normally I would say that everything begins in solfeggio, but it's very hard to pick one, because it depends on where you are. So with the wrong expectation, people get frustrated easily, okay? Or they will go to a teacher that excludes many of these disciplines. And here's the problem. So then it will take 20 years for you to discover that you should have learned the viola clef when you was a young boy. And this would help you way more. And that already the solfeggio lessons, you should be able to transpose the melodies. Because all it comes to become a professional, do you understand? That is useful for someone. So you want to master music in all the possible aspects, to master everything that you can master that depends on your practice and discipline. This is what you want to do, okay? You don't want to wait to be the Martha Argerich, the Paul McCartney, the Jimi Hendrix, or to have the voice of Pavarotti or Bruce Dickinson. You can't wait for those things, but what you can do is from the start on understand that there are things that are absolutely possible. Now, on the teacher side, there is a very important thing to blame, because it is a lot of work to do the administration of a full classical music education. Okay, it's not so easy. It's very hard to forget things. For example, now I have a student now in 1 hour. Then I was already forgetting that we didn't work with the bass clef yet. So I have to remember for him understand the bass clef, and later the viola clef even. So the teacher has to be very active. But in today's low-paying institutions, many teachers, they are not so engaged, or they are not paid for all these hours. The students don't see the point of doing this in private lessons, because they think the culture tells them they are destined to fail as a musician. And some students, they have the time but don't have the money. So this is ideal. Then you can work with your teacher just a summary of what you have to do along the week. So this would be the ideal situation. Or you have to try to figure out everything alone, as I did until I got able to pass the exam at Mozarteum. Because until there it was everything like I could just practice piano, you understand? And not learn all other things. But the point is to understand the synergy between many musical fields, how they help each other. For example, if your ear is working better, then you will memorize the piece for piano better. If you memorize a piece for piano better, so you have vocabulary in your head that will help you improvise and compose. If you compose music, you have a better judgment when it comes to musical interpretation as a pianist. If you are a good pianist with good ideas and play in a beautiful manner, whatever you do, even simple things, then you can be a choir conductor, because this will require you that you shape the music in every single millisecond. When I was conducting a choir, 19% of the time it was my experience as a composer and pianist, because you have to decide things to shape the sound, and the other part was how to deal with people.